we didn't know Kobe was going to be that guy yet, but there was a lot of people thinking, hey, could this be almost a passing of the torch? You know, he was up and coming at that point. Jordan, you know, closing out his career in the late 90s. I think 98 was his last season, if I'm not mistaken. You know,
he took him for a ride.
He had his moments on him. You know, I mean,
it was an older Jordan. But,
yeah,
you know, he wasn't gonna let him hand him the torch. He was gonna try to show Jordan up. If you're not gonna come out here and get me, I'm gonna score every time on you.
Yeah, and he was a competitor. That's the thing. He wasn't like, oh shit, I'm playing on the floor with Michael Jordan. No, I want to beat you, man. You're the best player of all time, and I want to come out here as a kid and outdo you. And that the competitive nature this guy had. I'll tell you, I hated watching it as a fan of the Pelicans and the Hornets so many years, because I mean, I can tell you how many games I've been at, anywhere between 15 and 20 Lakers games, I believe, when they've come here. You know, whether the playoff series, just regular season games, and how many times that guy, those teams with Gasol and Odom, or even before that,
25-point comeback. I think.
There was a lot of games where Kobe just would, you know, it was like fade away after fade away. It was like just any shot you didn't think he could hit, he would hit it. He would take over a game. And there's only a few guys in history that take over a game like that. And to me, it's Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron are probably the three that I can think of off the top of my head. There's not many that can take over a fourth quarter the way that guy did. And I mean, so many times I'm cursing that dude. I'm like, man, damn, like, you know, again, you like, how do you do this to us all the time? Like, dude, y'all got to foul that guy, do something, just like double team him, triple team him. And it's like, how many times?
Jordan were the epitome of killer instinct. When he had you down, he didn't let you back in the game. He put his foot in your throat and took you out.
And it's a way, you know, and that's the thing. I say this, and there's a lot of people that said this as well. He was like this after his playing career as well, you know, doing things now that he was doing after his career, you know. But he was, to me, it's a blueprint on how to approach life. There's a lot of us that sit there and just approach every day, and, you know, we get lazy, we get whatever. And Kobe, you know, he had a good point about the laziness. I've seen people put this on there, his quotes about being lazy and the way to approach life. And I tell you, he had some great,
well, just look at the impact he made
comments on
LeBron's career. LeBron, up until that point in the Olympics, he was just kind of floating through his career. He was obviously the most talented guy.
Right.
But after that Olympics with Kobe, and he saw how hard Kobe worked at it, LeBron took on another gear. He started being that guy that would take the toughest defensive assignment. He started being the guy that would be always the guy.
Yeah.
You know, with that breakaway block when you thought you were going to dunk or a layup, and he comes out of nowhere and just erases it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got it. I mean, that's that killer instinct, that drive. I mean, that ability was there for him, no doubt about it.
Like he instilled a lot of that in LeBron. LeBron was kind of lacking up to that point.
See, to me, there's a lot of talented players.
He was a kid, obviously. LeBron was a young guy into the league. But
well, yeah, it kind of passed Jordan to Kobe to LeBron. It's kind of almost like a torch passing of a type. But I mean, to me, like, the thing about him is there's only a few guys that have that elite level talent. But to me, there's a lot of guys in sports. You hear this, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, whatever it is. There are a lot of guys with talent. But to me, the thing about Kobe, he never stopped trying to be better. You know, he tried to improve himself every chance he had. And, I mean, the guy worked his ass off, man. I mean, people could say, oh, these athletes don't deserve this or that. Oh, absolutely they do. Because guess what? You can't go dunk a basketball. You can't hit a 30-footer with a guy in your face hitting that shot. And guys like Kobe, who bust their ass, you know, who was, you know, in the gym every day, who was shooting till midnight, you know, this guy did everything he could to be the best at his game. And I'll tell you this, most of us will never even have an idea of, you know, the level of work that guy put in. I know everybody say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm in my profession. And I respect to that. But what this guy did, there's not many people on the planet that can match his intensity and his focus. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, isn't that a way that, you know, we should attack our personal lives?
I say, yeah.
Do,
I mean, we get complacent. There was never a complacent moment with that guy.
Laser focus, you know, the want to be the best and stop at nothing to make it happen.
Even on the downside of his career, you know, they had some bad Lakers teams. I mean, was it 7? He's a Lakers fan, you know, obviously. You've ever watched the podcast before, but was it 7 years, 8 years, whatever it's been since they made the playoffs? And even Kobe on the downside of his career, you knew he was starting to lose it. He had, the Achilles injury? You know, he had some different things going on. He was still busting his ass.
Well, the Achilles injury came on the heels of 5 games playing the whole game. Think about what guys do today. They take off every 3 or 4 games or every back-to-back. They can't even play 82 games. This guy played 5 straight games, the whole game.
Now, was that
48 minutes? And on that last game, that's when he tore his Achilles. He was trying to get that team into the playoffs, trying to carry that team.
Yeah. Now, was that a separate time from the? I know Utah. Everybody said the game he scored 60 his last game. Some people say he tore his Achilles in that game as well. I don't remember if that was the case or not. I remember reading an article about that today. The last game he ever played. Somebody
honestly,
said he went out there.
That sounds like folklore. You're not scoring 60.
No, not with the Achilles. He tore it late in the game, and supposedly he actually shot free throws towards the end of the game. Achilles torn and everything.
I don't know.
He
was
out there.
Clarify.
The final minutes game. Go look up the Utah game. I've read that and I've heard that, and I thought that was pretty. I even threw out an article, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I took it as word. You know what I'm saying? I took it as word. And I usually put in my focus time, but I don't doubt that it happened because it's Kobe Bryant.
Man, one of my favorite songs of all time, man. The Lil Wayne song, the Lil Wayne Kobe Bryant song. It was played today, and it kind of hit me in the feels again. It's kind of a tribute, like that was made years ago, like during his Pau Gasol run.
Right. Well, this song was made by Lil Wayne in his prime, right? I mean, like in Kobe, right when Kobe was in his early 30s or something, or what?
This was made during the Pau Gasol championship team.
Yeah, Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum, those guys.
After the first Pau Gasol Kobe championship, or the second one actually.
Yeah, and I mean, and Wayne, man, he does it right, man. I mean, New Orleans' own Lil Wayne, and that's he always represented some of the best players, man. He was always ready to do something for those guys.
But that's kind of pretty cool, just the fact that one of the defining songs of Kobe was made by a guy that was born in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, Wayne always had his ties to other places.
We're a New Orleans show. I mean,
no, I know.
But he's fucking from. He's from.
He's a Packers fan. I don't know where that comes from, but he said he likes Brett Favre.
Well,
I don't know.
It's an epidemic with kids today.
I think Wayne got stoned and ate a bunch of cheese and decided to like the Packers.
Wayne's like 38. He might have let a army of kids that feel the same way. He's like, I'm gonna like who I like. I don't give a shit.
No, and I mean, it does happen today, man. I will say that
we're a global society now, so it's people are more global sometimes than they are local. Maybe we should get back to our roots.
No, to me, my thing is I'm all about roots, and to me, you can like whoever you like. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand this. There are Lakers fans everywhere, like there are Celtics fans everywhere, like there's Cub fans everywhere, like there's Red Sox, Yankees. There's a lot of Patriots fans in places, Steelers fans, Cowboys. Certain teams travel really well, as they say. They have a lot of fans in other areas. Now, see, remember, in basketball, we didn't have basketball here from 79 to 2002 when the Jazz left in the late 70s and then until the Hornets came back in 2002. So there was a lot of Lakers fans.
That's why when the Lakers come to town and they're half decent,
there's some presence.
Fill up to
They'll have some presence. They'll have a couple thousand Lakers fans in there, absolutely, which might not be the case when they play the Rockets or the Spurs or whoever. You know what I'm saying? They'll have a few thousand Lakers fans in the house sometimes. And that's the thing. The Lakers have a strong, especially places like us that got a team, you can maybe even say about like Charlotte, Minnesota, all these places that got teams later on. They saw Magic Johnson, they saw Pat Riley, those teams, Kareem, James Worthy, AC Green. They got into that. And Kobe kept that going.
I tell you one of my favorite moments. I mean, been to a shitload of games with Kobe, but, this one game, he was right on the baseline. And if people don't realize, the baseline's a pretty good far away behind the backboard. So he's on the baseline. He shoots it over the top of the backboard. And like
a shot most people could never do at home in a driveway.
Like a regular shot. He just put a little arc to it. And it was like
when does that happen in a game? Not too often.
To see it actually I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
On in a game. I've seen him do it on the TV, but actually seeing how far he went over the top,
it's
pretty
special.
It's something I would try at the park and do it 100 times
right before you get it
close at all.
Well, that's the thing I say about these people who say, "Oh, these athletes."
Put a hand in his face.
Yeah, go out there. You see these fans that get out there and try to make a free throw, a layup, or a 3-point shot, and they hardly ever do it. These guys do it with another guy that's 6'6" or 6'7" on and playing at the maximum speed you can play at, and to make shots like that is obscene. I mean, it's just crazy. You got something on there you got to address, or?
No, I'm just making sure we caught up.
Okay.
Got a lot of people in here.
Respect to y'all, man. I know it's bothering everybody, man. I mean, it's definitely
Big Dog.
What's up, Big Dog?
I know you
Laker
fan
right
of
there,
way.
man. Absolutely.
I feel like shit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hey, man, you know what the thing that disturbs?
I feel really bad. I feel like I lost a family member.
Well, the thing that's disturbing.
I feel like I lost a good friend.
Well, everybody says the thing that's disturbing is this, man. I mean, Kobe, obviously, it's horrible enough, and then with his daughter at that moment, you know what I'm saying? his 13-year-old daughter, man, she just looks like a ray of sunshine, man. I mean, I'm watching this girl in videos on YouTube playing basketball. I watch their stuff on Twitter, and I'm like, man, Kobe, you know what's crazy? Because Kobe was just kind of, he was out of, not really out of the spotlight. I mean, he is Los Angeles sports. He is the biggest icon in Los Angeles history, in my opinion. I mean, Magic was great. Shaq was great. There's a lot of great, players in other sports as well that hit LA. But, man, Kobe, to me, he's the epitome of Los Angeles sports. And, I mean, but nationally, he was kind of starting to work back into the picture a little bit. We see all this stuff on Twitter and social media with his daughter and him. And that's the thing. You kind of see this. And people are starting to get to know her, man. And that's what makes it even much more difficult, man. It's such a tragedy, man. A 13-year-old child, man. My kid's 13 years old. My son. And so it hits home with anybody that has children. Anybody. I mean, it should strike a chord with anyone. But, when you have a young child like that, just getting into teenagehood.
Kids. I have kids.
Yeah.
I have an 8-year-old girl.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's one of those things that really – I don't care if you watched a lot of basketball. I don't care if you were a Kobe fan. I don't care if you were whatever. You know what I'm saying? To me, this is just an awful moment. There's not really a silver lining, unfortunately, here. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's
a terrible moment.
It's not explainable. And, I mean, not to even touch on religion or anything, but, I mean, how does this even happen? I mean, it's just a freak occurrence, or is it?
Yeah, man. I mean,
it makes you question your own life, make you want to, not waste a minute of it, because you just never know.
If anything, that's what I'm saying, man. If anything, a lesson to be learned, and there's nothing. This should never happen. This is just horrible. We were talking about that. The small helicopter. We've seen it recently, man. It's been unfortunate, man. And people are going to ride helicopters. I'm sure it's been going on. It just seems really weird, man.
Helicopters and small planes.
The last 6 months, man, we've seen Nancy Parker. We've seen Carly McCord. We've seen now Kobe Bryant, man. I mean, and these small planes back in the day. I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, you've seen these musicians like Buddy Holly, man, and Richie Valens, et cetera. I think Chuck Berry might have been involved in one of those as well. I'm just, kind of going off the top of my head. But these small planes, and I mean, I understand something's got to be done. They got to do a little better job of something. I don't know what can be done. I'm not an aviator, dude. I couldn't even begin to tell you. But let's just work on whatever that is, because something's wrong, man, when this is happening more frequently like this now. You know what I'm saying? I just hope they figure that out, man, before it happens again. I mean, this is, to me, just raises eyebrows everywhere, man, about these types of aircrafts, man. I mean, something's got to be done with that. It's got to get better. But like you said, man, but getting people to really approach life in a different way, man, I think it does that, man. I mean, whether it's saying something you don't say to somebody more often, man, whether it's, giving a little extra mile, making, trying to build a legacy for yourself, try to build a memory for yourself, man, instead of sitting at home and saying, damn, man, it'd have been cool to go out and do that with my friends or something like that. You know what? Go out and go do it with your friends. Or, hey, man, I felt like eating a fucking po' boy today, but I just settled for that peanut butter sandwich. Go eat that fucking shrimp po' boy from Parkway Bakery, man. You know what I'm saying? Go fucking take that trip somewhere you ain't never been. You know what I'm saying? Go do that. Go buy that fucking car that you maybe have trouble paying the note on. It's life, man. It's life.
Save yourself into happiness.
No.
And you're not, and one day you're not going to be able to do these things anymore. So if you
absolutely,
can do it,
man.
Enjoy it.
Absolutely, man. I'll tell you, man, I couldn't see shit for a year, man, in 2015. I was practically blind with the eye surgeries I had, man. And I'll tell you, it made me kind of appreciate life in a different way, man. It felt like coming back from something I didn't think I'd ever come back from, man. And I'll tell you, I'm still not where I want to be with this stuff, man. I want to, take everything by the horns, man. I think we all have to have that fucking mentality, man. I just think, like, you cannot – just don't waste days, man. Enjoy, be happy, be free, but live for the moment, man, and live big, man. I think that's all you can do, because not one of those people woke up, Sunday morning, they're getting ready. It's a day in California, man, a beautiful place, Los Angeles area, man. They go into a game, you know what I'm saying? Who's ever in the back of anyone's mind that this could be the last day they live?
I mean, hundreds of their friends.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's awful, man. It's awful.
Friends, their peers, parents, they just, they never made it.
Yeah, man. There's not a whole lot more to say about. I mean, he was a great player, 20 years, all with the Lakers. I mean, that's a special thing in itself. You don't see that too often in sports anymore. A guy play that long, 18 All-Star appearances, 12 all-defensive teams. What he won MVP, I think, in 08. One of the best players of all time, without a doubt, man. But
and the